Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Cambridge ZooCast. My name is Marion Stücker and today I'm joined by Matt.
Hello, my name is Matthew Hayes and I've just finished my 1-year MPhil here in Zoology Department, and I was doing that as part of the insect ecology group here at Cambridge.
So thank you, Matt, for coming. Can you describe your work during your Masters here?
Sure thing. So I study insects here in the UK, mainly looking at butterflies, and what I try to do is look into their ecology in this country so that we can better conserve them into the future. That involves a few different things. So I look at their optimum habitat requirements in this country so that we can work with local organisations, conservation organisations, to put in place management plans which actually support these species as best as possible. Also, I look into things like how future climate change is going to affect their activity levels. So obviously, climate change, warming climate could be really good for some species, it could be really bad. And if it is really bad, what can we do to try and mitigate those effects? And specifically over the last year, I've been looking at the Duke of Burgundy butterfly. And over the last 50 years, it's thought to have lost around 80% of its distribution here in the UK. So it's in need of our help.
Wow, sounds like very, very important work for the future as well.
Yeah, I think so. Quite a lot of the time I get asked, why butterflies, why insects, why they're important. They're really small, they're a pest to a lot of people. So I like to challenge those preconceptions and actually say, if you're interested at all in any sort of conservation of the natural world, you should be interested in insects. So if you think about stuff like a butterfly, has very complex life cycle, has its caterpillar, chrysalis, and then adult life stage. All three of those might rely on completely different resources. So that means one small change in the environment is very likely to affect at least one life stage of a butterfly. So if you see your insect population is rapidly declining, it can be an early warning system to say something's going wrong here in this environment. So if you can preserve your insects, keep them happy, keep them healthy, you keep the habitat from changing too drastically, and you can help conserve a load of other things. So yeah, I agree, they're really important, but lots of people just see them as pests, which hopefully in the future we can do something about, we can change.
Well, I don't agree. I think that stick insects are adorable.
Okay, true.
My study and
that's good.
Insects are cute
Preaching
as well.
to the converted.
Yeah. They should be also on logos for conservation, no pandas.
No, I know, exactly. But that's the problem. So people like you and me who are interested in conservation, sure, we know that insects are important, but I find another really kind of compelling argument for maybe someone just not interested in conservation at all of anything. I think insects are, again, more kind of, they're easier to fight a cause for because of things like ecosystem services. So say you're an agricultural farmer, you want to kind of completely blitz the habitat that was there before, replace it with the monoculture of your plants. Then you need to make them aware of the fact that in doing so you're going to remove all the previous ecosystem, all of the invertebrates doing things like pollination, improving soil fertility, and all of these really helpful kind of silent processes that the natural world does for us, which insects do for us, which if you remove could actually cost a huge amount to replace.
Yeah, it sounds like a very interesting but also very broad topic. So I would be interested where you place your research and where do you even start your research in this broad kind of topic.
The reason I did the Duke of Burgundy butterfly was because it's endangered, but there were only previously, I think, 4 papers that had a look at populations at all.
4 papers?
4 papers, 2 of them in Germany, 2 of them in the UK. So, nearly no research on this endangered species, so more work needed to be done. So what we do know is that the pupae, we think last around 9 months in that stage, and it's a year-long life cycle. So obviously they spend the majority of their time as a pupae. We potentially know a little bit of how to conserve the adults and the larvae, but the longest lived life stage we don't. So we really need to do some work looking at how we can conserve that stage. Problem is we don't know where the pupae really are because there's so little research on this species, and you need to try and track the caterpillars. It's really hard to do. You can't put a little GPS tracker on like you can an animal because they're tiny. So we've been trialling a really fun new method of tracking the caterpillars. So we use this UV pigment, so this UV powder pigment, which is normally used in paint. And we go out at night because the caterpillars of the Duke of Burgundy butterfly are nocturnal. We find them on their food plants, and then we do a little dusting. And then the idea is that they will then leave their food plant, go off to where they pupate, and leave a trail of this powdered pigment.
Wow,
to lead to where they go. Yeah, exactly.
It's very smart, actually.
We'll see if it works. But we've trialled it, and it does seem to work. And the idea is because it's UV powder, It's quite bright in natural light anyway, but at night time obviously you can't see it. But if you go over with a UV light, it's like a kind of disco. It's like completely fluorescent pink or green, depending on what colour you use. So hopefully that will give us the kind of final piece of information we need to conserve the whole life cycle of the Duke of Burgundy here in the UK.
It seems like you put a lot of effort into your research, so I hope it will turn out very well next year.
Thank you.
So what do you do outside of your studies?
Well, one of the things I really like about Cambridge is that as well as belonging to the university and the department, you also belong to a college. So my first week when I joined as a graduate student, we all had Freshers Week, and you get to meet loads of other people from different backgrounds with loads of fun activities. You go on pub crawls, you can join up with different sports teams and things like that, and you get to know people from loads of different subjects as well. So some of my best friends are kind of medics, physicists, all different backgrounds who you maybe wouldn't normally socialise with because you just work in different circles. But being part of a college means that you do get to meet all these different people, which I've really enjoyed.
Which college are you at?
I'm at Christ's College, so that's where Darwin went, so I really liked that fact. It's been really good.
Seems like you really enjoyed your time here in Cambridge.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So what are your next plans, or what are you doing now actually?
Well, actually, so one of the other perks about working here in the zoology department is we have the Zoology Museum on site. So it's really cool to work alongside that. And I was just really lucky that at the same time I finished my master's, there was a job position open in the museum. So I'm actually working there now, which has been really, really good fun. So we have in the insect room of the museum 200 plus years worth of insect collections. And I'm working on a thing called the Jennings Beetle Voyage project. And what my job is to try and make a dent in cataloguing the huge number of species and specimens that we have in the insect room, to try and see what of Jennings material we have, and also to try and kind of catalogue in such a way that we make it more available to the public. We've got a lot of specimens on show in the museum, but a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well, which would be great to get out there a bit more, but it's physically impossible to do so. So if we get it online, learn a bit more about what we have.
Well, I feel like your work that you're doing now in the Zoology Museum is pretty much related to the work you did in your Masters, right?
Yeah, I'm very lucky, yeah.
Yeah, I hope you can continue your work, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
Thank you.